The fastest way to gain weight, lose 10 pounds too quickly. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've actually lost 112 pounds the last 2 years and almost 10 months, almost 3 years of being on GLP-1 medication. I've been on Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Tirzepatide compound, which is GLP-1 plus GIP, 2 hormone receptors. And on today's episode, I get asked a ton, what is the ideal weight? And again, I'm not medical at all, simply my experience, strength of hope of somebody who's lost a ton of weight, who used to weigh over 300 pounds. And now I do weight training. I do really cool stuff I'm able to ride horses, and my life has totally changed as a result of changing my eating habits and also my physical activity habits. And I get asked all the time, Elizabeth, I'm on GLP-1. I want to lose weight quick. And I'm always like, pump the brakes, bestie. You don't want to lose 10 pounds in 1 week. It's dangerous. What we want to do is lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Touch your healthcare provider, of course. But that is a really, really safe way of having sustainable, long-lasting weight loss. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I want this weight that I've lost, that I've worked really, really hard for, because I am somewhat of a turtle. It's taken me a while to lose this weight. I want it to stay off. And the fact that it's been almost 3 years of doing this and that it has stayed off and I continue to get stronger and more healthy with the GLP-1 journey, I really want to shout from the bell tops, 1 to 2 pounds per week. Now, how does that break down? You guys know it's serious when I bust out the poster board and the Mr. Sketch smelly markers for our curriculum today. We've got our healthy curriculum. So first and foremost, number 1 is 1 to 2 pounds per week. You guys know I love data, scientifically based, being factually accurate. I demand and require that I am. So 1 pound is basically us being in a 3,500 calorie deficit. And so a 3,500 calorie deficit, if you want to lose 2 pounds per week, is 7,000 calorie deficit. So basically that's calorie deficit of 500 calories or 1,000 calories per day, depending on if you want to lose 1 or 2 pounds per day. That can happen a number of different ways: through food, through exercise, or if you have GLP-1 blowout diarrhea. Just kidding, kind of not though, but kind of. So having on GLP-1 weight loss, right? When we're taking our GLP-1, it has appetite suppression. So for me, my first few months, I'm like, bam, bam, bam. It was easy to be in a calorie deficit because I wasn't eating as much, right? And so 7 days a week, this worked out really, really well. Well, now that I've been on the highest dose, I was Mounjaro 15 milligrams, then Zepbound 15 milligrams, and now I'm on the highest for the Tirzepatide compound. GLP-1 plus GIP is how it's phrased. I'm basically in maintenance. And so I'm not really in a calorie deficit anymore. But when I do see on the scale, because it's not always even Steven on the scale, if I see it's a little up, see it's a little down, I am using not just the scale though for my metrics. And that would be one of my biggest encouragements, is get a scale. I've got several. I'll link down below my Amazon shopping list. The Renpho one I absolutely love, with the smart tape measure that goes with it. I have the specific ones on there, or the Hume scale. I like the Renpho one also. If cost is an issue, that is a great inexpensive way to get a really accurate one. The Hume is more expensive. So 1,500 calories equals deficit is 1 pound weight loss. I love a good math equation. I love a good math equation. And so with that, having that weight loss or that calorie reduction, we can do that one of 2 ways: through food, through exercise, or me joking, through GLP-1 diarrhea. But if you're having things like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, it's going out. Now, constipation, it's staying in, and that may actually affect the scale to make it seem like you have a weight loss, which is why I do always recommend Bioptimizer's magnesium. I'll link that down below. I have no regularity issues with constipation with that. So you can pick what makes the best sense for you on how to have that 1 to 2 pounds. But there's a lot of other factors that play into this too that I think is really important when we are looking to have a huge, lofty weight loss goal. And for me, that was formerly diet culture. And I've worked really hard not to be a part of diet culture, I repel against that and break against that. But there's actually a lot of reasons why losing more than 1 to 2 pounds per week is actually really, really not great for us. And I think it's important to talk about these, because a lot of people don't. They glorify losing this dramatic amount of weight. A, it leads to loose skin loss. But B, it breaks down, and number 2 is it breaks down muscle tissue. This is supposed to be me flexing. My beautiful muscle. That's an arm muscle. It looks kind of like an octopus or one of those like butternut squash horn type things. That's supposed to be muscle. It's actually breaking down our muscle tissue. And so breaking down our muscle tissue with this, that's something that we very much, are already having on our weight loss journey. Not just with GLP-1 weight loss journey, with any weight loss journey in general that's significant, is there is going to be muscle mass loss. But if we're rapidly losing the weight, that is where, for me, I get a little bit nervous, because that is going to impact our muscle mass loss, but it's also going to impact our resting metabolic rate, our RMR. And as that decreases our resting metabolic rate, it's going to make it harder to continue to lose weight and make it much easier to regain weight once you stop eating in such a calorie deficit. So slow and steady is our protection actually for our muscle, but also for our RMR, our resting metabolic rate. That 1 to 2 pound rate, it's helping us utilize that stored fat and energy while preserving that lean muscle mass. I hope that your scale measures your lean muscle mass. That's something I've been nerding out about recently for my own. If you saw my weigh-in video, I was talking a lot about that. Because also I can tell as my lean muscle mass goes up, that means I'm building more muscle. So especially when it's coupled with strength training, that really helps us utilize that 1 to 2 pound weight loss. Now, next, number 3. My slides are out of order, I see. Like, why are my pictures all out of order? Number 3 is going to be the part that's really, really important, is increasing long-term sustainability. This is one of the biggest things that I'm talking about. This picture, by the way, was supposed to be me with cheekbones. Does it look like me? Do I look like Linda Carter in the picture or Demi Moore? Just checking to make sure you're paying attention. What it is it's supposed to be lifestyle habits. It's basically, Eli Lilly tells us in the literature we need to make 2 major lifestyle changes when taking GLP-1 medication with Zepbound and Mounjaro. And I'm lumping you into, if you're on Wegovy or Ozempic, and our Tirzepatide compound and semaglutide compound friends, is behavior changes with food and behavior changes with physical activity. We've got to make these primary goal of weight loss is maintenance, and slower weight loss has become scientifically linked to long-term results. Losing weight slowly helps you make those lifestyle changes. Cooking, portion control, consistent exercise, rather than relying on extreme temporary dietary restrictions like liquid cleanses or crash diets that are, quite frankly, impossible to maintain. And it's the yo-yo effect. Yo-yo, yo-yo. We want no yo-yo, bestie. No yo-yo, bestie. Like, this is super, super important for us to recognize that yo-yo effect. And for me, when I really think about it, I'm like, that's diet culture for me. That is old school stuff when I'm wanting to go back to this dramatic dip. And I have had that, to be totally like candid. And I know that some of you have too. I know that I'm not alone in saying that. That I have been like, man, this week I wish I'd lose 5 pounds. No. Like, that's not, and when I get into that, that's when I literally talk to my therapist. I'm like, why am I thinking that way? That is such old tape, old news, old behaviors, that's not me. That's not the healthy version of me that I am and that I continue to aspire to be. But it takes time to make those behavior changes. And if we are trying to rail against the time in which it takes, we are short-changing, short-cutting, and short-circuiting those behavior changes. Portion control, friends. I talk about this so much. My first year alone, it took me the first year just to learn how to put my fork down with GLP-1 weight loss. What a portion looks like. I still track my calories to this day because I still don't know what a cup looks like. My kid and I were making, it was our 4th generation recipe for a cake. It's been in my family for 4 generations. My son wanted to make it, so he made it today from scratch, made the frosting from scratch, and made the cake from scratch. We're measuring out a cup of whatever, water. I still had to look to see what that looked like. I'm like, what does that look like? What does a half a cup look like? I have no idea. And so when I'm looking at things of like, okay, for my own eating, 4 ounces of cottage cheese, what is that? I still have to portion control that because it's still taking me this long with my behavior changes to learn what that is. still almost 3 years into the game. So when I literally tell you that I am a turtle, fellow turtles unite, like literally it's because I'm still learning things like portion control. We had a steak. How much is 6 ounces of a steak? I don't know. I got to get out my scale and measure it. I got to get out my cups and measure my cups for how much 3/4 of a cup is to help make these consistent, sustainable lifestyle changes. Cooking, like, oh, I can cook with this avocado spray on there. Like, just learning, like, oh, that's what a little pat of butter is, as opposed to like smothering something in butter. A little pat of butter when I'm cooking. It's taken me that long, and maybe it's taken you that long too. Tell me in the comments if it has. Okay, number 4, preventing metabolic slowdown. Hormone response. This is also me with my mittens on and my high heels, having a hormonal response. Does it look like the picture? I'm trying not to smile. That's kind of like a frown. It kind of looks like a mustache. Honey, wax your upper lip. That's the result of the hormone response. She got her mustache. She got her mustache as a result of her hormone response, which isn't funny when it's true. Like, no, do I need to go wax my upper lip right now? I'm laughing, but then I'm like, in the playback, like, maybe do I need to go to my waxer? It is funny because it is true. Oh my goodness. Extreme rapid aggressive dieting can make mustaches. No. Y'all, dermaplaning, it's on my Amazon shopping list. If you don't dermaplane your face, I don't know. Anyways, rapid aggressive dieting can trigger survival response, basically going into like starvation mode, right? Never in my wildest dreams, y'all, literally being a 300+ pound woman, did I ever think I'd be like, oh, I'm in threat of being in starvation mode. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, honey, she has never been in starvation mode, you know? So then to be like, oh, that can trigger my body too much of this. Like if I'm going this is where if you're going these long gaps of like, I can't eat, talk to your healthcare provider. Because you know what also happens when you're not eating enough calories? Your hair falls out. I have a whole video on that. Go watch that video after this one. Don't leave this one yet. You're not allowed to. I got more jokes coming up. If you thought the mustache one was good, that wasn't funny. It kind of was because it's kind of true. If you know, you know. If you're not there yet, these young chippies, we have 20-year-olds who watch, and I'm like, just you wait, Levy. You'll grow a beard. What was it in the Golden Girls episode? Did you guys ever see Golden Girls? It's my favorite show, so I can quote it all day long, where she's like, and they didn't tell you that you grow a beard like Yasser Arafat. And I'm like, who's that? And I'm like, oh my God, it's true. So the hormonal response of extreme calorie restriction causes greater hormonal response like decreased thyroid hormones and leptin, leading to a significant and often long-lasting drop in our resting metabolic rate, or RMR. In addition, slower rate benefits. The gradual deficit minimizes the severe metabolic shutdown, allowing our body to adjust incrementally and maintain a healthy metabolic rate throughout the journey. Hormone responses. No yo-yo bestie. Dang, these pictures are good. If you've made it this far, they progressively have gotten better, don't you agree? I feel like I have missed out on my calling of being an artiste. Just kidding, not at all. Okay, number 5, reduces health risks and side effects. Rapid weight loss, this is the other one. No to risks. What is it? No risks, Bessie. No risks, bestie. It creates other health risks for you. Gallstones, for example. Sudden large weight losses dramatically increase the risk of forming gallstones. Nutrient deficiencies. Extreme calorie restrictions make it difficult to consume required vitamins and minerals. I cannot wait to go when I go to the UK to see my besties in the UK who say vitamins and minerals. And then fatigue and mood. Severe dieting can lead to higher levels of fatigue, irritability, you cranky, I almost just said a naughty word, you cranky diva. Higher levels of fatigue, decreased focus, making adherence nearly impossible, right? Like we're looking for long-term sustainable lifestyle. It can't be a lifestyle if you're snip snapping, like when you get hangry, Like that's what can happen, which is why we go back to shooting the target. If we've got an archery arrow and we're shooting it to one of those bullseyes, we want that 1 to 2 pound per week target is a consensus because it's the most effective way for sustained weight loss, metabolic health, and formation of permanent habits. So I go back to what we originally said at the very beginning. How do we do this? If you are having a slowdown and you're like, I am doing everything that I can and I'm having a weight plateau, you absolutely better have talked to your healthcare provider. You better. Tell me in my free encouragement group, because I love yip yapping about stuff like that. We all do. But your healthcare provider should be helping you on this because maybe, and when was the last time you had a blood panel also? Is your thyroid out of whack? Is one of these other hormonal things like needing HRT, hormone replacement therapy? What is it? Because if you're doing the heavy lifting from this, so to speak, like you're doing the work, you know you're in a calorie deficit. You can back it up with data. Because here's the other thing that I have been guilty to. And I say this with so much love, grace, kindness, and compassion. I'm like, I'm in a calorie deficit. Then I start retracking my food and I'm like, no, babe, you're not at all actually. You're actually in a calorie, not the opposite of deficit, increase. It's like you're climbing up a wall like Spider-Man. And it is a calorie increase, honey. And so tracking our calories, I'm not asking you to do that for the rest of your life, but it really is eye-opening when people actually legitimately, now here's the deal, is when it breaks my heart, is when besties are like, I am tracking my calories. Every morsel that goes into my mouth and I'm still not losing weight. Absolutely talk to your healthcare provider or dietitian. Dietitians at Join Fridays, this video is not sponsored by them at all, but you can use the discount code QUEEN. I'll link it down below. That is where I'm getting my GLP-1 plus GIP, and also my free dietitian. Absolutely talk to them about, and because there's free dietitian included in with getting your medication, about what makes the best sense for you for your macros per day and how best to serve this calorie deficit. Then you can figure out, okay, if it's 500 calories per day, am I going to do that through 200 calories of exercise and 300 calories down from my food, 100 from exercise, 400 from food? Am I going to do, you see what I'm saying? Like you can kind of negotiate a little bit with that. Is it all going to be from diarrhea? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But then there are these other tools and skill sets as well of like, for me, of learning that I literally had it tonight, besties. Literally, I'm filming this late at night because I'm going to LA. By the time this gets filmed, either I'll have been to LA, I'm in LA, or I'm going to LA. And so I'm filming this at nighttime. Tonight was like, I'm not hungry. And I'm not hungry, but I need something. Do you guys have that with GLP-1 weight loss, of where I'm not hungry, I just need something? I just needed my little 40-ounce thing of water. I put 1/4 of a stick of Element electrolytes in there, a couple of pumps of the sugar-free skinny mix syrup in there. I was a happy clam. It's 40 ounces of water, big old nugget ice in there. I got me a decaf coffee, a little splash of half and half. I was double fisting, walking down the hall to the studio, trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today. And I was like, that is an important skill set. I knew in my brain, I'm not hungry. I've eaten my calories for the day. The kitchen is closed, but I'm wanting something else. And the something else was literally just water. Am I going to pee like a racehorse throughout the night tonight? I sure am. It's going to probably affect my sleep because I'm going to be peeing so much. But my husband and I always joke about that. We're like, we've got the sexiest legs from going to the restroom so much, from drinking so much water. But truly, I will take that any day. I will take that any day. And that has been a wonderful habit substitution. So my question for you is, that was my example of substituting. What do you need to substitute? Don't eliminate. What can you substitute? What can you substitute in there to help with this calorie deficit? And I know some of you with GLP-1, there's so much appetite suppression. It can be easy peasy lemon squeezy to do this. I am now in the phase of the game of where this is not easy peasy lemon squeezy. I am at the highest dose. I have to focus to stay in a calorie deficit. And like I said, I'm basically in maintenance, but there is within maintenance, right? I've seen it in my group with a lot of people who are like, I gained 5 pounds, I gained 10 pounds. You know what I mean? I've had somebody else be like, I gained 15 pounds. Like, where does that lever, the elevator go on that? And for me, that's why I measure for the most part every day, is to stay. And I can also look. For me, I can look and see, like, this morning I was like, oh, my hip bone looks good. She is looking good over there. It was the left side hip bone. The right side one is still catching up. Not really. They both look even, Steven. But You see what I'm saying? Like, the point in which I'm trying to say is substituting and learning these different skill sets. And as I've gone on this journey, it's been a different skill set as I continue to progress. Much like lifting has taken me a different skill set to be able to do, so has the eating component of it. And figuring out this calorie deficit thing to stay in a moderate range. And then how does one eat normally? Like with events, making a cake today with my kid, with a family recipe that has been in our family for 4 generations. I had a slice of the cake. I still was in a calorie deficit today, not a calorie maintenance, it wasn't a deficit, but a maintenance today, basically. Like, it was awesome. I had some of the cake. It was a little sliver though. And in fact, I didn't even eat the whole thing, I ate half of it. I was so happy. You know why? Because I savored it. And that's one of the other, I've done another video on that too, of like really savoring our food, of how do we make this sustainable and really enjoy things that I can eat anything I want, just not the quantity in which I want it. So people get very angry when I say that. It always cracks me up. I'm like, whoa, step back, Jack. You do you, boo. But for me, I can. Like, the body that I'm in, I'm really happy with for the most part. There's some things I'm still working on, but I'm like super, like, I've hit so many physical goals as a result of this. And so I'm saying that not to brag or boast, but to help encourage. And as I continue to push myself on my health goals, there's more health goals that I want to achieve. Let's not get it twisted. But that's part of these puzzle pieces. So all of that to say, 10 pounds a week is not the goal. 1 to 2 pounds, wherever you are on your weight loss journey, 1 to 2 pounds per week. 1 to 2 pounds per week. That's the goal. That's the goal. If it's more than that, then honestly, like, you need to talk to your healthcare provider. I don't want to shoot on anybody. I kind of am when I'm making that statement. But also for me, a therapist was very beneficial too, of like breaking those diet culture thought processes of what's healthy. So I hope this has been helpful. Let me know in the comments if it's been helpful. Our emoji of the day today is going to be a cherry, because you're the cherry on top. And I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care. It's an easy way to flash up a symbol to see like, bestie, you made it this far. So you made it this far, you better have clicked that subscribe button because we like each other. We like each other. Or you're a stalker. Could be the case too. I do know, I'm like, some people hate me still watch my videos. It cracks me up. So if you do hate me, then I love you. I really do. I really do. But the people who, I'm halfway teasing, but I love you so much. Like, people, I love you, bestie. Like, I love you so much. I'm cheering for you. And the pattern recognition of seeing every day after day after day, all of the emojis over and over and over now for years. Like, you guys, when I say bestie, like, I truly mean it. I do this because I love being around you so much. Hopefully I give as much as I get. And you guys give me so much, and I'm so incredibly grateful for our community. So, cherry of the day, it's also my bat signal to pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, uplift you in positive thought. And if you're not near to type your phone in, you can just type cherry, and we'll know exactly what that means. I also want to know, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goal? And I want to make sure you check in today. If you've not checked into the group recently, go do that. Go do that right now. It's easy. It's not on Facebook. People are like, oh, you're not on Facebook? No, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I haven't been for months. I posted there about my Amazon Prime Day sale, but that's about it because they banned my group and it won't be coming back. And even if it did come back, I wouldn't go over there. So we're on our own group, and I love our group so much. My hot husband just posted an awesome article today too. So go check that out as well. My sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I love you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.